Good afternoon, all of you. Hello, am I audible? Good afternoon. In our previous class, we discussed about meetings, company meetings. Generally, board of directors act as an agent of a company. Being an artificial person, company decisions, organization functioning, all taken over by these board of directors. And board of directors, in order to take any decisions relating to the management of a company, are to be taken by conduct of meetings. And these meetings, through the meetings, they undertake various business decisions. And we have, so what are the meetings and what are their what meetings, different types of meetings are there, we discussed. And basically the meetings of company classified into three types, that is a shareholder meeting, directors meeting, and special meetings, class meetings. Shareholder meetings, we have annual general meeting and extraordinary meeting. uh, we discuss about these shareholders meetings. After shareholders meetings, we have directors meetings, director board of directors meetings, and class meetings under which creditors and creditors and the debenture holders meetings we will get. So let us look into this uh, uh, directors and creditors and debenture holders meetings. Directors meetings, again we have uh, board of directors. Yes, board of directors generally. Okay? So, board of directors, they are the supreme authority of a company, and they have powers to take any major decisions relating to the company. So this because in order to have an effective management of company, and these board of directors will conduct meetings, and through meetings they'll take these effective decisions. Okay. And regularly, frequently, in a regular intervals, these board of directors will conduct their meetings. So let us see the legal provisions to conduct the board of directors meetings. One is first board of directors meeting means when a company forms or when company establishes for the first time, what are the legal when they are supposed to conduct that. If we see when a company for the first time when company establishes, then the company must hold its first board of directors meeting or within 30 days of its incorporation. The company should hold its first directors meeting within 30 days of its incorporation. uh, Second thing, the subsequent meetings. Subsequent meetings generally, then a company should conduct at least four meetings in a year. That means every quarter, quarterly, once they are supposed to conduct the meetings of board of directors. Okay, and the meeting should not be, that is the gap between the two meetings should not be more than 120 days. 120 by 3, 4 months, that is they are supposed to conduct every quarterly. If not, at least within 120 days of the time they are supposed to conduct their meetings. Okay. The next thing is that yes, list company, small company. In case of small and dormant companies, they are supposed to conduct the meeting in a half year. The gap between these company meetings, companies board meetings are not to more than 90 days. Remember, the first meeting to be within 30 days of incorporation. Subsequent meetings generally, like a board of directors meetings every year, at least 3 months once, that is quarterly once, they are supposed to meet, that is 4 times in a year the board of directors meetings must be held. Okay, and these 4 times make in a year, but the gap between the two board of directors meetings should not be more than 120 days or 4 months. Okay. In case of small companies or one person companies or dormant companies, these board of directors can be 2 times in a year, and the gap between these meetings should not be more than 90 days. Okay, for large companies and for small companies. The next, notice. Notice, at least again, in order to conduct the board of directors meetings also, a 7 days prior notice must be given to all the board of directors. Okay. A written notice has to be sent to all directors of the company, whether they are in India or outside India. But these written notice of the directors has to be sent to the registered addresses of those directors. How you send the mode of the notice can be sent by post, by email, or by any hand, whatever is possible. Okay, every officer of the company must be, means who, whatever the number of directors, irrespective of this, they are supposed to be provided. The notice has to be given to all the directors of the company 7 days before notice. Okay. Next, for legal formalities, the notice, whatever is the date, time, place, sorry for interruption. Yeah. So quorum is 1/3 of total strength or two directors, whichever is higher. Okay. And the participation of directors can also be counted for the purpose of quorum if they are participating on a video conference. Okay. Or by audio visual means. That also is considered as a quorum for the meeting. Hmm? The next one is, and he can appoint his time and place of meeting to be given in the notice itself. If any change in generally in registered office only they are supposed to conduct. If any change in this, they can conduct in the that should be informed in the meetings of a company. Okay. The next, agenda of the meeting must be enclosed. So for every meeting, notice must be given to all the entitled members, and that notice should contain time, place, and the date of the exam, date of the note meeting. Okay, and also the agenda must be enclosed with that, and quorum must present. What quorum depending on the meeting. See, for the board of directors is 1/3. In a shareholders meeting, I said if the shareholders are below 1,005, if above 1,015, up to 5,015, above 5,030, right? Same way here, in case of board of directors meeting, 1/3 of the total strength to be attend the meeting. If your director is attending video conference or by audio visual device, then also he can be counted under the quorum. Now, time and meeting generally a registered office, but any change must also be included in the notice. Agenda, the purpose of the meeting, and the business issues to be transacted in the meeting are to be provided in the agenda. Okay, and this has to be along with the notice to all the directors. This agenda also to be attached, enclosed, and sent to all the directors. Generally, in the board of directors meetings, agenda is like to appoint the matters relating to appointment of the first auditors and additional directors if company, if any, or policy decisions. Okay, for these all the matters, generally the agenda consists of in the directors meetings, so that they come prepare and they get ready with the all the detailed information, which takes a minimum time to discuss in the meetings and to be concentrate on the important items. That's the reason why the agenda is prepared and enclosed with the notice send it to the directors. The next is that participation in board meetings in video conference or a visual meeting. And every director will be informed, and he must make necessary arrangements to avoid the failure. Okay, if he is participating through video, all the necessary arrangements he should make. Also, the intention of participation through electronic mode. If he is attending through any audio visual, he should inform about his attendance through audiovisual method. Next place in statutory registers with the meeting. So whatever the registers are there, those are to be required registers relating to the meeting or the topics to be discussed. Those are to be placed in the board meetings before the commencement of the meeting itself only. Maintaining confidentiality. All the board of directors, the entire board should maintain the confidentiality of the company in the matters. Okay, whatever conclusions of the meeting are there. Okay, from the commencement of the meeting till the conclusion of the meeting, no person or other person, whoever is presented in the board, shall allow access place where meeting is held. Okay, and next minutes is like every meeting, even the directors meeting, board of directors meeting, they are supposed to prepare the minutes book giving the topics or the business transacted in the meeting, the details of the business transacted or the decision taken in the meeting, generally within 15 days. Within 15 days of the conclusion of the meeting should be circulated among the directors. Unlike other meetings, the chairman has to sign the meeting. Voting directors. Coming to the voting directors, is by show of generally. Voting is method of voting is by show of hands. Even proxy can voting by proxy not allowed. Proxy not allowed. Okay. Voting by show of hands. Okay, one vote in respect of the shares held by them. Okay, so these are the legal provisions. I'll repeat once again. Board of meetings of board of directors. Generally, board of directors are treated as supreme authority of any company, and they have the powers to take major decisions of company. Okay, they have powers to make major decisions of company. Okay, and any effective management for any effective management of company, it is important that board of directors to meet regular intervals. So the first meeting of the board of directors must be within the 30 days of incorporation. The remaining meetings generally depends. Subsequent board of directors meetings are expected to be at least 4 times in a year. That is, every quarter they are expected to meet, but the gap between the two meetings should not be more than 120 days. If a company is a small company and one person company or a dormant company, they can have a yearly two meetings. Okay. And the gap between each meeting should not be more than 90 days, not less than 90 days. And even for board of directors meetings, all the directors entitled to attend the meeting must be provided with the notice not less than 7 days prior notice. And this notice should include means notice to be sent to all the directors, whether they're residing in India or outside India, irrespective of to their registered addresses. And this notice can be sent by hand, by post, or by email, electronic mode. The quorum is required to attend the board of directors meeting. The board or the required directors to attend this meeting. The quorum is 1/3 of the total strength of the directors. Even the directors who are attending through video conference are counted for the quorum. Okay, and agendas must be added to the notice with the details of the business to be transacted in the meeting. A copy of this agenda should be enclosed with the notice and sent to all the directors attending the meeting. And this generally the agenda consists of what the details relating to the appointment of first auditors of company, appointment of additional directors, or matters calling for major policy decisions, etc. Okay. Why this agenda is given? Agenda is given so that the directors attending the meeting will come prepared for the topics to be discussed and decisions to be taken. So this saves the time and consumes the minimum time and saves the time. And the directors can take concentrate upon the points to be discussed in the meeting, the important items. Okay. The next one is, yes. If any director is attending through audio-visual means, he should inform prior to the meeting to the chairperson. Next, yes. Statutory registers, whatever the documents, whatever are required for the meeting, are to be arranged before the schedule of the meeting itself only. The next, all the directors attending the meeting should maintain the confidentiality in discussing these things outside. So from the meeting till the conclusion of the meeting, no person other than the directors, no person should know about this place of the meeting. The minutes, yes, within the 15 days of the board meeting, the minutes has to be prepared and present in the to be circulated or the has to be prepared with the matters discussed in the meeting and circulated in the office. Like other meetings, even the minutes record, once it is prepared, should be signed by the chairperson. Voting of directors. Method of voting of directors for any decision making, generally by show of hands. Okay, the proxy is not allowed to vote. The voting generally, how the voting rights process, one director, one vote only, irrespective of his shareholdings. That's about it. And next, meetings of the creditors. The creditors usually called when the creditors conduct the meeting. If a company wants to make any compromises or arrangements with the creditors, then the company will call the creditors meetings. Like if a company wants to like amalgamate with other companies, or a company wants to reconstruct itself, okay, then it needs the approval and prior approval and permission of the creditors. It need to consent with the creditors because creditors interest is involved. So if a company wants to go and merge with another company, then it needs to take the permission, consent of the creditors of that company. So in such case, so in case of reconstruction, like mergers and acquisitions, or in case of amalgamations, a company may call the creditors for the meeting. Or even in case of a winding up of a company, it's called the creditors for meeting. meetings of debenture holders. Generally, company conduct the meetings of debenture holders in the matters relating to the any change in the securities offered upon the debentures, or any change in the rights of the debentures, or in case of issuing a new debentures, or in case it is going to change the rate of interest on the existing debentures. In any matters relating to the debentures taking place, changes are taking place, a company will call the debenture holders to hold the meeting. Um, that's about meetings. Now let us see the resolutions. Resolutions are that important decisions, whatever to be taken in the meeting. Those decisions are taken by passing resolution. That is the minimum number of measure. Resolution means what? A company, if you want to take a meeting, a decision will be passed. Means whatever the decision to taken, that proposal will be passed in the meeting, and the people attended in the meeting has to give their voting. So whoever the members attended the meeting, it's not necessary every member attended the meeting will accept the proposal. Some members may accept the proposal, some members may not accept the proposal. If the majority of the members accept the proposal, then the decision will be taken. So such decisions taken by passing of a proposal and by acceptance of the members by voting, we call as a resolution. Okay. Say in your school level also, you might have your class. In your class, a class leader to be appointed. One of you, your teacher asks you, who you would like to be your class leader. So one group selected Mr. X and one group selected Mr. Y. Okay, so then the teacher says, okay, raise your hands who support Mr. X, and raise your hands who support Mr. Y. Finally, one of those two will be selected as the based on the major class students selected raised hands. That X or Y becomes the leader of the class, right? So that means who is going to be the leader of the class. That decision has been taken by proposal of two candidates, by the other students in the classroom, and by election of remaining students of those two, one will be among those two will become the leader. So the decision of selecting the leader of the class has taken. Same thing, that is called resolution. Same thing in case of company also. Decisions in a company are taken by resolutions passed at various meetings. The word resolution has been defined in the Companies Act. It may be understood as a formal decision of meeting or any motion before it. A proposal, when passed and accepted by members, becomes a resolution. If not accepted, it will not be a resolution, a simple meeting. But in that meeting, in any meeting, if any proposal has been passed, accepted, and decision has been taken, then that meeting becomes a resolution. So we have three types of resolution: ordinary resolution, special resolution, resolutions requiring special notice. Okay. There are three types: ordinary, special, and resolution requiring special notice. Let us see about these ordinary resolutions and special resolutions and special notice. Ordinary resolution means what? Ordinary resolution means a resolution which is passed at a general meeting by a simple. Which is passed at a general meeting by a simple majority. That is, more than 50% of members at the meeting accepted it. Okay. The votes cast either show of hands or ball in favor of particulars, including the associations cast against. Okay, simple majority. 50, 10 members are there, and in a class, 30 students are there. Two have been stood as the leaders, proposed to be as the leaders. 28 remaining. So these 28 students, depending if 15 students are elected, raise hands to be X to be their leader, then X becomes the leader. That is called simple majority. Means out of 28, 50% means 14. If 50 means 14 students, yes, 14 students, no will not. But if 15 students say yes and 14 students say no, 13 students say no, then this X becomes leader. So that's a simple majority. 51% of the members attending the meeting accept means, and that a resolution is passed means, we call it is an ordinary resolution. Okay. In simple to say, ordinary resolution means which is passed at a general meeting by a simple majority. If more than 50% members at the meeting accept, then it becomes a resolution. Okay. And ordinary resolution normally do not require to file with the registrar. Okay, do not require to be filed with the registrar. Okay. Next. Hmm. What are the and even for the ordinarization, normal 21 days of this what you call no 21 days of notice is enough to pass an ordinary resolution. 21 days of notice if a company pass is enough. Right. Now, next thing is that what are the business to be transacted in the annual means ordinary resolution, or which type of business decisions requires ordinary resolution. These are the matters regarding which ordinary resolution is required, like matters relating to the adoption of directors report, profit and loss, like directors reports, annual reports, election of directors, declaration of dividend, appointment of the director, auditor and his remuneration, or removal of director before his tenure, appointment of any other director, alteration of share capital. Means if a share capital wants to be increased, which will not affect the interest of the shareholders. Appointment of sole selling agents, share discounts, okay, issue of bonus shares. For all these matters, a simple resolution or ordinary resolution is enough. Means these are routine, like a director's report, annual reports, okay, and declaration of dividends, share discounts, share bonus shares issue, then appointment of auditors and fixing their salaries. All these are routine matters. So ordinary resolution with a simple majority is enough. The legal formalities are 15, like as usual, notice of 21 days is to be given. Okay. But these ordinary decisions taken in the ordinary resolution need not to be filed with the register of companies. Next one is special resolution. Special resolution is that special purpose discussions. 21 days notice has to be given, and at least 3/4 of the majority votes has to be not less than 3 times the number of votes. Say, for example, previous example, 28 students were there. 28 students must at least 28 of 3/4 means 21 students at least should accept a X. Okay, then only he will become. That then such case means ordinary resolution, or sorry, special resolution. When 3/4 of majority to be voted, then the decision only can be taken means this called as special resolution. Yeah, when a special resolution is going to be conducted, passed, then explanatory statement with all the material facts has to be annexed with the notice. That means has to be given along with the notice. If they want to take any decisions relating to the matters, like alteration of memorandum, alteration of articles of association, or reducing the share capital, or like that, any decisions need a special resolution. If special resolution is taken, then what are the matters why a company wants to take regarding those matters, to be given some explanatory note or statement along with the notice to all the members attending the meeting. Okay, so these are the legal provisions. One, notice the purpose of resolution. Purpose of resolution will specified in the duly specified in the notice calling for the general meeting, and 21 days before notice must be given, and explanatory statement along with the notice must be given, and then this resolution becomes special resolution. That particular meeting becomes special resolution when 3/4 of the members vote for the this decision proposal than the against the proposal. Okay. The matters to be discussed in the special resolution: alteration of memorandum of association, alteration of articles of association, and alteration or reducing the share capital, okay, or change in the name of the company, or authorized payment of interest out of capital, appointment of an independent director, issue of shares with differential rights, and removal of an auditor. And regarding any of these matters, decisions are to be taken means a special resolution will be passed. That means regarding these matters, the 3/4 of members should accept if any changes. Say company wants to change its name, then change of name means if 90 members attended the meeting means at least 60 above members should accept it. Okay, if 100 members attended the meeting means at least 75 members should accept it. Then only they can take the decision. That is the reason why it is called as 3/4 majority it is requiring to take any decision. That's the reason why we call it as a special resolution. Okay, so the matters discussed are these. Now, next one is resolution requiring special notice. When do company, what are those mean? Means, if any, in case of emergencies, to take decisions which cannot be postponed for the next general meeting, this by giving a special notice to the members entitled, resolutions, a meeting will be conducted and resolution will be taken, passed. So such meetings with the notice, resolutions that are passed with the notice are called as resolutions requiring special notice. I'll tell you once again, the matters which cannot be postponed till the next annual general meeting, and the matters which are to be taken immediate decisions, or issues which are to be taken immediate decisions for such under such situations, a company will conduct a general meeting and pass the resolution by giving a special notice to the members. Generally, like such meetings, there's what are the appointment of an auditor other than retiring auditor, or express resolution to say that the retired auditor need not to be appointed again, or to removal any director before the expiry, or to appoint any other person as a director in the place of the director removed. For these matters, generally a special notice has to be given. Okay. Generally, this special notice should be given 14 days before. Earlier, all the other meetings and resolutions 21 days, but special notice must be given 14 days before the date of meeting, at which the resolution is to be moved. Okay. If if it does not have any time to give the notice, at least 7 days before the meeting notice has to be provided to all the members. This notice can be through public notice paper, public paper, newspapers. The notice can also be published in English newspapers in English language, and in vernacular language, notice shall also be posted on the website if any of the company. So it's a special resolution, extraordinary resolution requiring special notice. That means it has to be conducted immediately. The meeting has to be conducted, resolution has to be passed immediately, decisions has to be taken immediately. In such case, company generally should must give a 14 days notice. If not possible, within the 7 days, it should send the notice to all its members eligible. Not only that, it also give a paper notification, newspaper, English language notification about the requirement of meeting. Okay, that's about minutes. Minutes drafting minutes. Yeah, these are minutes also important. So it's like precise and not narrative. In simple terms, the gist. That's what from yesterday I was telling. Gist of the meeting. Each page must contain the numbers, and the paragraphs must be divided. The content has to be divided into paragraphs, and the minutes must be submitted to the registrar within 30 days of the meeting. Okay. And must be signed by the chairman, kept open for the registered office. That's about our what you call meetings of the company. And the next we do have profile winding up of company. What does it mean by winding up of company? Winding up means closing the business entirely, and no business operations are going to be undertaken. So we have winding up, consequences, and insolvency and bankruptcy. Let's see about these one after the other. Winding up of a company. So what is winding up? Generally, if anything comes to an end, anything turns to be an end. Yes. Under this winding up of a company, we will learn about what is winding up and what are the different modes of winding up, what is the tribunal winding up, and compulsory and voluntary winding up. This winding up is my collapses. When company collapses and not means not able to meet its obligations and continuously getting losses, then we say that is leads to the failure of company. When failure of company leads, it will suffer with the inadequate capital structure and the fraudulent practices, which is not acceptable. Okay, so in such cases, a company. Mm, mm, the person so when a company collapses, means failure of a business, which may be why company gets failure due to the inadequate capital or due to fraudulent practices or inefficient management or it fails to respond to the changes, a company may need to be closed down. Okay. Please. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just small disturbance. Okay. So on all these conditions, like When company gets wind up, corporate collapses imply business failure of the company. Maybe due to failure of company, which may occur due to first one, inadequate capital, fraudulent practices, inefficient management, or failure to respond to changes. Any of these reasons, it may get wind up. Okay, it's a process. So companies, unlike sole trader firms, cannot wind up on their own. It involves so many legal formalities. Okay, so winding up of company involves a process where the entire company has to be company comes to an end. So at that time, it needs to distribute its properties, means has to dispose of its properties and may clear its payments to the debtors and its members. Then only a company can close. And not only that, it involves so many legal formalities. So the person who involves in this liquidation or winding up of a company is called as liquidator. This person, see, at the beginning, for bringing a company into formation in the existence, there involves a person called promoter who takes all the responsibilities, okay, and control of the business. See here, at the time of winding up of a company, a person who involves, who acts as an administrator, we call as a liquidator, and okay, and he takes control of the company and collect all the assets, pay all debts, finally distributes any surplus left over to the members according to their rights. Okay, so liquidator. So here we are going to learn about what is winding up, the reasons, okay, and then liquidator's position. So winding up, just now we said, winding up means winding up under this act or liquidation under the insolvency of bankruptcy holders. No. Right. Uh, you can take any of these decisions. So it is simply it is the process of winding up involves realization of assets, payment of liabilities, and distribution of surplus, if any, among the members of the company. That is okay. So winding up resolution, there is a difference between the winding up and resolution. Winding up means stage of closing the business. Both are closing, but a winding up is voluntary. That a company will sell its assets, pay the liabilities, and distribute the surplus to the members. Resolution is final stage where existence of company is withdrawn by the law. Okay. Generally, winding up involves is undertaken by the liquidator who is appointed by either the company or court. Generally, resolution orders are issued by the court, and sometimes the court itself will appoint a liquidator. Here, liquidator, in winding up, liquidator represent the company. On behalf of company, he do all the formalities. And the resolution, there is no liquidator. He will not represent company. He will represent a court. Debts. In the case of winding up, creditors can prove their debts. Like creditors acceptance and creditors should say, these are my liabilities. You are supposed to pay when they can fight. But in winding up, no such court involved. So no one, what as per the court instructions, only everything goes. Proceedings, any person can proceed against the company which is being wound up. Means in case of winding up, anyone can sue against the proceedings of a winding up of a company. But in case of court winding up, the resolution, no one can proceed against the company. That's the difference. Now, reasons for winding up. There only I said Company established being accomplished, companies wind up. When company is unable to carry on its operations, or when company unable to carry on its operations or the main objects, the company object for which company established has been accomplished. Means whatever the purpose, say a construction company, if the object of constructing the buildings is over 100 buildings, then that company can be wind up. Okay. Or if a company failed to carry on conducting 100 construction of 100 buildings, it is not, I think it is not able to raise the capital only, it is not able to carry on only, then also a company can close its business. Okay. The next, when company disposes of its business or undertake the another company, is either it's sell its business or if a company is taking another business. In both the situations, companies goes for first wind up, means existing company gets into a winding up, closure. Okay, unable to pay its creditors in full. So any of these situations, a company gets into wind up situation. Modes of winding up. How a company can be wind up? A company can be wind up voluntarily or by compulsory winding by the tribunal. Compulsorily by the tribunal. Voluntary wind up again two times. Members voluntary wind up. Creditors voluntary wind up. So let us see first winding up by tribunal. Wind up by order of the tribunal means company places tribunal places an order to close the business. Okay. When a company can see here whatever these points are given here, those are repeated again in the down also. Okay. These are repeated down also again. Okay. Same. Here he just said there's a points. Here he gave it the subheadings. So what are the conditions when a company gets wind up by tribunal? Winding up by special resolution. Company may special resolution resolve it can wind up by the tribunal. Okay. Tribunal must okay. If in the special resolution, in the special resolution, if a company decides to wind up, then resolve can be wound up by the tribunal. Okay, it gets wind up by the tribunal. The second thing, company if a company acts against the interest of the sovereignty and integrity of India. Say for example, whatever company we wants to have a good relations with the countries, and if a company has failed in maintaining such relation with with those countries and did a trade against that, then a company can be asked to wind up by the tribunal. Sovereignty and integrity of India. Okay, foreign states. Of the state in relations with the foreign states, public order, decency, morality, entertain, petition, and inform only from central government, state government order. So when tribunal will undertake this winding up under this condition, only it is come from the central government, state government, or other orders for winding up. Say for example, two states there. In between two states, a company. Simple example. Now in Karnataka, there was a hijab problem. Okay. So in respect of that, if a company try to sell a huge quantity of hijabs or sell at a free of cost hijabs in the Karnataka, what it is from a company which is located in the Maharashtra, what happened or Gujarat, what will happen? It is indirectly promoting the hijab campaign by selling them at a free of cost, right? By distributing them at a free of cost. So in such case, the government, the Karnataka government can ask tribunal to wind up that company because it is indirectly causing public against against the government or intended means influencing the public for is a already problem existing, but it is further influencing them by free distribution. So the Karnataka government can ask, okay, whether to wind up or not, that depends on the tribunal's decision again. Next, winding up of company by if company affairs are fraudulent or unlawful manner. Okay, when the company's affairs are fraudulent and unlawful manner, like if a company is not undertaking, say if you are dealing drug, then which is not accepted, or you are working, you are registered with some kind of work, but you are doing other trading which is other than the registered nature of business, then also a company can ask, tribunal can ask to wind up the company being conducted fraudulent manner. If the affairs of the company are being conducted in fraudulent manner, if a companies don't take a proper care in disposal of waste, okay, industrial waste, then also in spite of repeated warnings, then also a company can be wind up by the tribunal formed for fraudulent unlawful. If a company formed to sell the what you call sell drugs, then also we can in company. Just I'm giving small examples so that you can make understand easily. Okay, if its affairs have been guilty of fraud or misconduct in connection therewith, then also company can work. Next other reason, yes, if a company fails to register with the registrar its financial statements, okay, when the company fails or defaults in filing the financial statements with the registrar, then also a company may be asked to wind up by the tribunal. Okay. The next, when well, the just and equitable for the company to wind up. If tribunal fails that it is just equitable, it's okay. And whatever the feeling, whenever a tribunal feels that it is required to be closed down, then also, unlike when generally in order to safeguard the interest of minority and weaker group of members, okay, it take account interest of shareholders, take account into shareholders, creditors, employees, and the general public, then a company may refuse to grant order to compulsory winding up of a company. Then, okay. Yes. Next, minority to protect the minority oppression. Okay, or to when management is deadlocked. That is, say two directors are there and two directors are required to fill the quorum, but they're not attending and not able to, a company is not able to take the meeting, and both of them having their rivals each other, not attending meeting, and the decisions are not able to be taken by the company. In such ways, that is called deadlock management. In such situations, also tribunal may ask to wind up the company. There is a case given Energy Tobacco Limited. W and R was only two shareholders as well as the directors of private company, and both of them have developed differences. Okay, and differences and become hostile to each other. So they stopped meeting each other. They stopped talking to each other, and that is showing effect on the management of the company entirely. So the business is not going forward. The employees has been neglected. The creditors have been neglected. The entire suppliers have been neglected. Then the company can involve and the tribunal involves and make the decision to just and equitable orders for the winding up of a company. The next one is like you have so many other cases also under this when a company can tribunal can wind up the companies. The next one is voluntary wind up. Again, voluntary wind up by directors, by shareholders we have. So let us see. The company can all voluntarily can wind up its business. Okay, it can be by members or creditors. Yeah, when a company can be voluntarily. If a company article as per the articles of association, the period of a company gets expired, like construction company. A construction company has a articles of association said after construction of 10 buildings, it can get wind up. But construction of 10 buildings over, but the company wind up is not come to end, then by passing ordinary resolution can be wound up. Okay. If any special resolution is there. So construction they thought, but after completing the 6 buildings, they found it difficult and they are not able to not in a position to raise the funds. Then if the members voluntarily wants to close the business, they face lots of continuously. With the special resolution, members voluntarily can wind up their company. Okay, so period issue articles for duration of company has expired. Okay. Or company for any cause what passed a special resolution wind up voluntarily. No articles can stop this. Okay. Mhm. So voluntary winding up can be passed by resolution. Okay. What are the members voluntary, creditors voluntary? Let us see member differences between the members voluntary winding up and creditors. Declaration of solvency is must in members voluntary. If members wants to declare voluntarily the dissolution, they should be solvent. Okay, means they're not in any debts. Okay, because see, I'm in debts. I thought if I close my business, I'll get money so that I can earn. Okay, make a profit. I can get back my funds. Not for such reasons, company, the tribunal will not allow for winding up voluntarily. Okay, so what it did? If you have genuine reason only, voluntarily can wind up, but not because you are insolvent. So to clear out debts, you want to wind up the company, not allowed. That is what this entire sentence means. Declaration of solvency is a must in members voluntary wind up. Means members should declare that they are solvent enough, means they have sufficient funds enough to run the business, but why they want to wind up, they should give the necessary. In case of creditors, not necessary. Okay, declaration of voluntary insolvency is not necessary for creditors. Next, liquidator is approved by the members in case of members voluntary winding up. If members wants to do the voluntary winding up, liquidator is approved by the members itself. Okay. Whereas in case of creditors wind up, both members and creditors appoint the voluntary liquidator. Remember, liquidator is appointed by members only in case of members voluntary wind up. In case of creditors voluntary wind up, members and creditors together appoint the liquidator. Okay, next one. Members only winding up, members who control the winding up and creditors do not play an active role. Members voluntary wind up law, members control the winding up process, creditors will not take. In case of creditors voluntary winding up, creditors control the winding up process. Okay? See, if you are winding up, creditor will not involve. He will not, because he considers you're solvent, so you're closing your business for your reason. But if creditor is involved, means he is not trusting you. He believed that you are insolvent, so he will involve and undertake the he undertake the controlling of winding up process. Understood? Yes. Next one is declaration of solvency. So here, under the conditions of members and creditors voluntary winding up, we came across of the term solvency. What is solvency? Means a company must have sufficient funds to meet its obligations, and the members also should possess the sufficient funds to meet its obligations. Okay, let's see. Majority of the directors need to make declaration of solvency within 5 weeks preceding the date of passing the resolution and winding up. And they also must deliver to the registrar. Okay. Now, what is the procedure for voluntary winding up? Let us see for the members voluntary winding up. The procedure for members winding up by both members and voluntary winding up. First, the member should give a declaration about their solvency to the registrar. Next, general body meeting must be held and they should pass a special resolution. A notice about that meeting should be given to the members at least 14 days before. And also an advertisement in the official gazette and local newspapers. Okay, if a company itself wants to close, so the members, if a members wants to wind up, means first of all they should give a solvency declaration as per the provisions of the Companies Act and register with the registrar. Then they should conduct a general meeting and pass the special resolution. Means at least for the winding up of company, at least 3/4 of majority should accept it. Okay. The next, they should also to conduct this meeting and special resolution, they should give the notice, right? That notice, 14 days before notice, and not only the notice, they also should give an advertisement in the official gazette on the local newspapers. And in case of members voluntarily winding up, they should appoint a liquidator and his remuneration. Once liquidator has been appointed and the remuneration has been paid, the powers of board of directors and managing director ceases. Means they will lose their powers. Board of director and managing directors lose their power. The next, liquidator shall exercise. Now, who will have the power? Who will take care about winding up process? Liquidator. Okay. That necessary for the company. Now, let us see the procedure for creditors voluntary winding up. In case of creditors voluntary winding up, first creditors should hold a meeting immediately, and they should pass a special resolution for the winding up of a company. And they also required to prepare statement of affairs, list of creditors, and statement of claim. The same may be presented during the creditors meeting. The statement of affairs and the list of creditors are there, and the claims to be made by the creditors. Okay, and they'll appoint a liquidator who is appointed by the creditors and members as well. Next, creditor meetings, a committee of inspection may be appointed. So, when creditors meetings are held, a committee or inspection committee must also to be appointed. Liquidators remuneration will be fixed by committee of inspection itself. If winding up of a company continues more than a year, meetings of creditors by the liquidator at the end of each year to be conducted. So these are the points to remember. Next, petition for winding up of company, not necessary. Let us see the other important topic, commencement of winding up. The next one is compulsory winding up. When a company can be compulsory wind up. company gets compulsory wind up. When special resolution being passed with the stated company by this tribunal, okay, in case of default made by sending state report to the registrar in holding a statutory meeting, of course, now statutory meeting is abolished. Mm, if a company failed to begin its business within the 1 year from its registration, if the number of members are less than the required number as per the provisions, if company is unable to pay its debt, or if a company is, in the company's opinion, it's being just and equitable, under all these conditions, company gets liquidation. Okay? Done? Yeah. See the compulsory and voluntary winding up. Short answers you can expect. Compulsory winding up of company brought about by an order of the court. In case of compulsory winding up, liquidator is appointed by the court itself. And voluntary winding up means voluntary winding up is brought about by the members or by the creditors of the company without no court involved here. Liquidator is appointed by the members in case of members voluntary, by the members and creditors together in case of creditors voluntary wind up. Procedure for winding up under new regulation. Next, let us see the. In this unit, you have so many important questions theoretically. Consequences of winding up of a company. Next one. See, when a company is winding up, uh, it faces so many consequences. Like problems. Because it's a big company which is established based on where investors have kept their confidence on the company, thinking that company is not going to wind up. It continues for a long period of time. When such company gets into liquidation, there arises various consequences or problems or issues. Okay, and next, under the time of winding up, generally the powers or the liquidator will enjoy the powers and exercises all the formalities. Okay, right? So he prepares a statement of affairs and also he appoints, and in case of creditors liquidation, inspection authorities will be there. Committee of inspection they'll appoint. So we are going to learn under that consequences of winding up. What consequences faces? The first and foremost consequence they face is the shareholders. Dominated by shares, shareholders liable to pay the full amount up to the face value of the shares held by them. This liability continues even after the company goes into liquidation. Contribution will be present past. Where the company is solvent, company is insolvent, unsecured and secured creditors if it has how it solves. Okay. Then consequences as to servants and officers, consequences as to proceedings against company. You don't need to remember this. I'll tell you the important. Liquidator of company. This is important. Okay. Liquidator of company and his powers and duties. Who is a liquidator? Who can be a liquidator? Powers and duties. statement he needs to prepare proceedings in winding up. Liquidators should conduct all the proceedings in winding up of company and perform his duties as per the provisions of Act and whatever are imposed by the court. Okay, and whatever acts that he undertakes, all are valid as long as he work within the limitations. Okay. The next one is report. This liquidator should submit a report. First one is statement of affairs. So official liquidators has to prepare a statement of affairs of the company and submit it within 6 months from the date of order of the winding up and submit to the court. Okay, what are the details that he provide in the report? First, amount of capital issued by the company, subscribed capital, paid up capital, and estimation amount of assets and liabilities. Important questions. Just a minute. Let me complete this. Okay. Company failed, case of failure. Yes. Amount of capital, capital details. Next, if a company has failed because of fail, then the reasons for the failure. In his opinion, whatever further inquiries he made relating to the business, like a promotion, formation, and failure of company or conduct of business, those are to be collected. The additional reports, along with the statement of affairs, he also should submit some additional reports like details relating to the over there in the company. Next, custody of company properties. Yes, on winding up of a company, the provisional liquidator, whoever the liquidator is there, he will act as a custodian of properties of the company and he keeps those under the court custody. And control of liquidator's powers. As liquidator, as an administration authoritative person for the liquidation of a company who undertakes the administration of assets and liabilities, under whose direction the works. Next, meeting of creditors and contributors. Liquidator may summon general meetings. He need to conduct some general meetings of creditors and contributors of the to the company. And whatever meeting he conducted, he should summon those meetings and pass the resolutions. Directions from court. May apply the court for directions in relation to any particular matters arising. Yeah, he can also seek the directions from a court if he is not able to solve any matters relating to the winding up of a company. Proper books. Keep proper books for making entries and recording the minutes. Whatever he did during the procedure of winding up of a company, all has to be recorded and maintained properly in books. Audit of accounts, the court shall cause accounts to be audited, is responsible, and the committee inspection is important. These are the powers of liquidator, important for you. Examination point of view, powers of liquidator also. The next, statement of affairs. We said anything else? We don't need to get into this all. Just powers of liquidator if you learn enough. Statement of affairs, a short notes you will get. The shortly, if you write about the statement of affairs, enough. Don't need to get into these all details. See, you have been provided committee inspection. Contributors not necessary. Mm, next, here you have been given the answers for the check your progress. These answers you can prepare. Yeah, I don't know the name here. It is written as iPhone. And this, you please go through this secure progress. At the end of the every unit, have been provided with this secure progress and model answers for the questions given under the secure progress. So these are sufficient enough to write your short answer questions. The last unit in the subject is insolvency and bankruptcy. Right? Right. What is this insolvency? What does mean by insolvency? If a member of a company becomes insolvent, means full of indebtedness, means his credit balance is more, means credits are more and the assets are less, then we say insolvency. What is this? Insolvency and bankruptcy code and applies to this code applies to overall as been given here. Don't need this. Resolution professionals not necessary. Role of insolvency professionals not necessary. Insolvency professional agency. Debt recovery you can take up a short answer. Here you have this whatever those you can prepare and check your answers. The last unit. See model paper. You left unnecessarily iPhone. This last paper, whatever at the end of the syllabus, you have been provided with a question paper. Please do prepare this question paper and questions thoroughly. That will help you at least in getting your pass marks. Okay. Please prepare your question paper. Okay, at the end of the question textbook, you have been provided with the question paper. So please do prepare that your question paper. Anything else? Are you there? Okay, you are there. Live is still going. Are you not there? You are there, right? Okay. You can unmute. You can unmute yourself. In the textbook, with this we completed our company law syllabus. Let's come to see the syllabus. Here under this you have kinds of companies, incorporation of a company, the procedure for incorporation of a company, and important documents to be found at the incorporation of a company. Okay, this first unit to prepare everything. Memorandum of association, clauses in memorandum and articles of association, contents of articles of association, prospectus, contents of prospectus. All these four are important from the first block. You will get questions compulsorily, and if you thorough enough, 12, 8, 20, 2, 2, almost 30 marks you will get from this first unit. Next, here in the second unit, I can directors, position of directors, powers of directors you'll get, and corporate governance you can expect for short answers. Again, here under meetings, you will get different types of meetings compulsorily and the types of resolutions. Kinds of meetings and types of resolutions you will get. Again, this is here you have a 20 marks chance. Under winding up of a company, under the winding up of a company, liquidator is there, liquidator's powers that you prepare, and how a company gets winding up, methods of winding up of a company, and requirements of winding up of a company from the first one. Okay, so here I cannot be, this is not there, details of winding up of company or topics are not there. Under winding up of a company, prepare what are the procedure for winding up of a company, requirements of winding up of a company. That's all. Is that okay? I know who is this? So at the end of the every chapter, you have this check your progress model answers. The questions that are given in between the subject topics. Question for those questions, answers also have been given here. If you prepare these all questions also, you can complete your paper without any backlog. Just not completing, you can score very good marks also. Okay, right. Thank you so much for being here. For such a continuous. Kalyan Krishna. Okay, very good, Kalyan Krishna. Okay, no problem. Right, all the best. You will prepare all the topics that are given here, like at the end of every unit. The check your progress with answers have been given. The questions are in between the chapter only. Under the check your progress, question has been asked. At the end of the unit, answers have been given. Prepare those and the answers of questions, whatever I mentioned now. Right. All the best. Let's wind up our class.